You'd be surprised how literally men that are 40 years old, they still don't know what they want. They're still not ready to commit.
Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Now, you know what? Let me be fair. Is this true? Do you guys actually believe that a 40-year-old man does not want to commit? Do you believe a 40-year-old man does not know what he wants? Comment your thoughts under this video. I can tell you as a 40-year-old man that I know exactly what I do not want. And women keep presenting that, right? It's like doodle on a plate. Do you want ketchup on it or do you want syrup on it? And we keep saying, or I keep saying, I don't want doo-doo. Now, let's go ahead and finish this video and this conversation. Let's finish this video and then have this conversation. Before we do that, let me introduce myself. My name is Bertrand. I am the coolest dude on the planet, and I'm your friend. Confidence and clarity is the goal. So here we go.
You'd be surprised how literally men that are 40 years old, they still don't know what they want. They're still not ready to commit.
I don't think it's about not knowing what they want and not ready to commit. I think it's that you're going to come to a crossroads and understand the pros and cons to a relationship or a marriage. And you have to weigh the options, like, does it benefit me or does it not benefit me?
Clearly doesn't benefit a bunch of them because they can get anyone they want.
I mean, let's simplify this, right? Because we keep hearing everybody say the same thing. Is she a yes or a no? Do I want to deal with peace or do I want to deal with stress? That's really the answer. That's really the question. Let's continue.
And it's not about that, because that doesn't determine if they get women or don't get women.
What is
Did
it
you get what I'm saying? We're talking about strictly, is there a benefit to me getting married at all?
Do you think men think there's no benefit to being married?
A lot of them, it's actually worse if they get married. It's like a huge risk.
Why?
For the woman, she has the opportunity to get the kids automatically. She gets to have half of his earnings without having to earn what he earned or hustle what he hustled. They have the opportunity to be able to get alimony. They have the opportunity to own assets that they didn't work for. So what does this man benefit for if...
Let's simplify this, right? Again, let's break this all the way down to normal man, average man, the majority of men's terms. Men want sex. When you get into a relationship, you know what dies out or dies down? The sex. Now, you're not as willing to deal with her attitude. You're not as willing to deal with her nagging. You're not as willing to deal with whatever comes with that woman, because the one thing that drew you in or held you there was the sex. And because that's being snatched off the table, you're just not that interested. Now, all the other things he said, as far as the money, the kids, the alimony, all of that, yes, that plays a humongous factor into it, because you start thinking with your big head opposed to your little head, right? You start thinking with your big head over your Johnson, but let's let them finish.
If it doesn't work out, he actually loses. It's a valid reason to say...
The crazy thing that I'm really starting to recognize with the majority of women is that they don't understand their job is to keep the man. Now, for the majority of women, the easiest way to keep your man is to continuously put out, to continuously do that thing that brought him in, that locked him into this commitment in the first place. Now, what men who are not in commitments understand is, first of all, the way that life is being lived today is completely different. Women are sexually liberated, so sex is what they lead with. Just like a man is leading with his money or what he can provide, which usually is some level of protection. I hear women on a constant basis talk about how unprotected they feel when they're not in a relationship. This is why we had that long, stupid conversation about, would you rather be in the forest with a man or a bear? The bear will eat you. Now, with that being said, let's just get into what these two were talking about. Now, does a 40-year-old man not know what he wants? This is what women say. And a lot of women say these things. In fact, I went on a date with a woman, and, you know, some dates I'm happy about and some dates I regret, but I go on these dates because I still love women, right? I interact with women. I always hope that there's a, that there's just like a golden goose, right? Like I'm still hopeful. I'm losing hope though. The hope is being lost because I went on this date with this woman who was over 40, right? And When I seen her in person, I was like, damn, she does not look like the age that she put on her dating profile. Oh my God, this woman looks way older than that. Or I just look young. I don't know. My point is this. The ideas, the thoughts that she had in her mind as a woman over the age of 40 were baffling. They were confusing. They were annoying because she's talking as if the man needs to do things for her when he can just go choose a better woman, a younger woman, right? Like this woman literally was confused on how men treat her versus how men actually are. A 40-year-old man has lived enough life. A 40-year-old man has had experience. Well, let me again speak for myself. As a 40-year-old man, I'm 39, but I'll be 40 this year. As a man that's almost 40 with experience, I can tell you what I don't want. I can tell you what annoys the crap out of me. Right? So what she's saying is like stupid to me because I know exactly what I don't want. When I come across the woman that has those attributes, being motherly, being feminine, being friendly, being cooperative, right? Being cooperative over being combative. I get it. We're not going to see eye to eye on everything, but we need to see eye to eye on the important things. And women get those things confused. I get it. It could be the menopause. It could be the period. It could be the unstable hormones. But with that being said, why would you want to deal with someone who's going to stress you out? Now, when it comes to a commitment, men have a much harder time recovering from a relationship because in his mind, he gave up all the broads. He did his best to be honest, to be trustworthy, to be faithful, right? He was respectful. He put in effort. He invested into this woman, right? And then this woman turns around and shows him her ass in a negative way, the way he ain't looking to see this woman's ass. He's surprised by what she's saying and what she's doing. He cannot believe what she's doing. In fact, it takes him longer to recover from that breakup. It takes him longer to recover from that heartbreak. Meanwhile, the woman jumps back out and she's looking for a new Johnson to bounce on. She's looking for a new Johnson to put her through the mattress. Matter of fact, she might be doing that at the end of their relationship because they emotionally leave the relationship. You guys do not know how many times I have heard a woman say she emotionally left the relationship before she physically left the relationship. All that means is she was cheating on that man. That's what it means. Guess what? How much harder is it to recover from that? How much harder do you think that a man is do you think it's gonna be easier for a man to get over that? Once the woman cheats on him and he's mad and confused and he's frustrated and he's annoyed and he's trying to figure out what the heck is going on and why she did it and if he should stay with her and if he should be a man and stick it out, right? He has all these thoughts going through his mind. Again, the benefit of being in a relationship was supposed to be the sex. That was the main benefit. Yes, friendship. Yes, a partner. Yes, a companion. Yes, someone that's going to be there that got your back, a support system. But how many of these women are actually a support system? How many of these women actually have your back? How many of these women have your best interest in mind? Because the majority of them that I see, that I keep coming across, they're thinking about themselves first. I get it. They think that they're thinking of others. They're putting everybody before them. But then when they get out of the relationship, they have to find themselves. I was just having this conversation with a woman that I thought was God's gift, right? And she's like, well, the reason she stopped talking to me was she's like, well, I just got a divorce and, I have to find myself. Now, I'm looking at this woman, I'm listening to this woman, and I'm just like, first of all, you didn't lose yourself. Over this 2 weeks that we have spoken or talked or, did what grown-ups do, you've shown me that you know exactly who you are. In fact, I've learned more about you based on what we had conversations about than what you're talking about right now. So let me rephrase what you're saying. What you're saying is you want that feeling of freedom. You want to get out here and do what all these other women are doing. You want to get put through the mattress by a whole bunch of men. Fine, do your thing. But I told her, don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself in this, because you thinking you're on a dating app where you're going to make friends when all of these guys want to put you through the mattress. And we live in a different time. Women want to try to put you through the mattress too. Even if they got to lick their way all the way through, that's what they're looking to do. So I said all that to her, specifically her, because we had years, like we had history over 20 years, right? Like we reunited, right? We reunited. And the things, like I said, the things that I learned about her in that 2-week span was crazy. I'm like, nah, you definitely know yourself. So I'm saying this in relation to this conversation that we just heard. Women know that they benefit from being in relationships. The benefits that they get are much higher than what a man gets. Yes, he gets sex. A lot of women say, oh, well, you know, I cook, I clean, I take care of the kids, I do this, I do that. Very rarely. Very rarely is that true. Very rarely is there a woman who actually does those things where she does not need help. Here's another funny thing. Fellas, this is why I keep saying, get yourself together, get your money together, get your body together, get your mind together. Because when you do that, you realize you can hire someone to do everything she's complaining about. We're talking about washing clothes, where the machine is doing the majority of the work. We're talking about putting dishes in the dishwasher, where the dishwasher does the majority of the washing. Okay, now we're talking about children. Well, if you guys know anything about children, guess who's happy to see daddy? Everybody but the wife. The children are excited. Daddy's home. Yeah, right? Like that's what you constantly see. Or let me just say, again, let me speak for myself. The children were happy to see me come home because they know it's either time to play or it's time to do something fun, whatever the case may be. So much so to where women say, well, I'm fun. Why they ain't that excited to see you? Another reason that another reason why men do not want to commit or being marriages or committed relationships is because you start to realize that you've entered into a business contract. And men don't want to do business with women. Men want to love women, right? Men want to love women. Women are doing business. Because this thing exists, we gonna constantly bump heads. The reason we're bumping heads is because we're not in a relationship for the same two reasons. The example that I just used earlier with the woman that I've known 20 years, right? And then we just got reunited. Now, the biggest thing was the reason why she decided to move on from me 20 years ago was because of the career path I chose, right? I was an actor. I was a model. I was out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I was out doing the entertainment thing. I was chasing that dream, right? That's the reason she chose the other guy. She chose the other guy because he had a safer job. He had a safer career. But guess what? 9 years into their marriage, she cut the cord, right? She was done. And I'm like, damn, did you actually really like the guy? Because I don't think she did. But the cons far outweigh the pros. You don't realize it until you go through it. So it's much easier for a woman to manipulate a younger man because he doesn't understand what his commitment means. He doesn't understand that he's giving up other women. When you give up other women, you lose the ability to talk and to connect with women, right? Now you got to relearn all of that. And based on how time continues to change and how much damage people get, and they get back out here and they think that things are the same as they were when they first married or started dating, they don't realize how much things have changed. But for women don't have to follow the same set of rules, right? They actually get to constantly create it because it's based on them saying, hey, yes, enter me, right? If you don't follow the rules that she says, you're not going to be granted that access. Again, I know I'm making this very, very simple by simply saying men want sex, but when I hear about men being in sexless marriages, I am still shocked because I don't understand it. I don't get it, but I understand some men will stay for the children. I understand some men will stay because they believe that that's the manly thing to do. I'm here to tell you, reinvent yourself. Times have changed. Women are sexually liberated. Adapt to dating. Things have changed, fellas. They have completely changed. The way that women are moving is crazy because now that they're making money and some women are making more money than men, they want men to make more money than what they make. And the crazy part is they don't understand the dynamics of money and how people are constantly sectioned off, right? Like some people can only rent an apartment, and then some people have to share their lease with someone just to afford the apartment. And then some people can go buy a house, right? So it's different finances that are going on here. But let me go ahead and say this, or let me ask you guys, what do you think? Do you think that 40-year-old men do not know what they want? Comment under this video. Remember, when you are watching these videos, you are becoming the best version of yourself. Now that this video is done, do me a huge favor. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.